Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Wild Winter, this month's virtual vitamin Z special series, in which we're encouraging viewers to spend time outside this winter, even if it's cold and even if it's snowy, because we know that by spending time outside, you'll have some opportunities to have amazing experiences with local wildlife and in your local environment. Now, in the first episode, we talked about how you can stay warm outside even when it's cold and even when it's snowy. And then in the second episode, we talked about how you can start finding and interpreting animal signs, things like tracks and trails. In this episode, we're going to build upon the previous two episodes by focusing in on one species in particular and reflecting on what we can learn about that species and what we can learn from that species so that we can better not just survive but thrive this winter. And that species is the eastern gray squirrel. Now, there are a couple of reasons why I've chosen to focus on the eastern gray squirrel. One of them is that, especially if you live in the Detroit area, but even if you live elsewhere, there's a really good chance that eastern gray squirrels, or another species of squirrel, are one of your wildlife neighbors, which means that you'll have plenty of opportunities to spend time observing them this winter. Another reason is that squirrels have adapted to survive the winter in some really cool ways. Now, some animals survive the winter by migrating. That is, they move from a colder area to a warmer area. Other animals survive by hibernating. That is, they conserve their energy to get through the winter. Squirrels are a little bit different though. They're able to actually stay active in cold environments because of some different ways that they've adapted to survive. One of those ways is they store food in caches, and then during the winter they're able to retrieve it. And to do this, they have these really incredible memories where they're able to remember exactly where they stored their food. But today we're going to be focusing on another way they survive, which is by creating these really warm nests. So let's put on our warm clothing and go outside and look for some squirrels' nests. So I went for my hike and almost immediately saw these animal signs, these tracks right here in a group of 4. And these are squirrel tracks. But if you weren't sure, you can always look them up in a field guide. And I followed these tracks across the sidewalk, and they went to this tree. And I know squirrels are great climbers, so I followed the tree up, and sure enough, saw another animal sign, this squirrel nest right here. Now, this isn't the best angle to observe this squirrel nest at, so I also recorded it from a different angle. And as you can see, the nest is composed on the outside of sticks. And what's a little bit harder to see is what's on the inside. And I didn't want to get any closer because I certainly didn't want to disturb these squirrels. But on the inside, the nest is composed of leaves and other debris that creates this great insulating layer that traps air. And just as squirrels hide their food to survive in the winter and have fur to help them stay warm, they also use these amazing nests to stay warm through the winter. Now, in addition to learning from squirrels how to stay warm in the winter, one opportunity this nest provided me was that it helped me understand where squirrels are probably spending a lot of their time, and gave me a sense of where I might go to try to observe them. So I spent some more time observing this nest and had one more really incredible experience I'd like to share. So this is a video clip of that same squirrel nest early one morning, and listen to the sound. So in addition to some city noises, you might be able to hear some other sounds that are coming from an animal. And for the longest time, I would hear those sounds and have no idea what animal was making them. I assumed that maybe it was a bird of some sort. But knowing that there was a squirrel nest right outside my house, I realized that they were actually the sounds that squirrels make. So, in addition to being able to learn a little bit about how to stay warm during the winter, finding this squirrel nest gave me this amazing opportunity to gain insights into squirrels' own communication system. So, I hope that you're able to see that by spending time outside this winter, you can have amazing experiences just like this one. Hi there, well, I'm getting back from my time outside, and as I said, I didn't have to go very far to find some squirrels' nests, and I hope that you don't either. Now, to close today, I want to give you all a challenge. We talked about how we can not just learn about animals, but also learn from them, how we can better survive and thrive this winter. My challenge is for you to use what you've learned about squirrel nests to create a shelter that could keep you warm outside in the winter. And you can use natural materials for this, but you don't have to. You can use whatever materials you have available to you. And if you'd like, we would love it if you submit your shelters to us at education@dzs.org so we can feature them on the last episode of Wild Winter. So good luck making your shelters, and we will see you next week. Bye.